Well, hello, everybody. It's Brother Todd with your Victory Minute. I hope you guys and gals out there are having a great day. It was my full intention to do an outdoor minute for y'all today, get you out of this office a little bit. Walked out there and wind almost blew me over. And that wind and this microphone on this phone do not, they don't get along, boy. They're oil and water. So I thought, well, I'll bring y'all back in the office, talk to you this morning. But I hope you're having a good week. On Tuesdays, I tend, the last 6 weeks or so, I've been trying to talk to you about how to become an effective witness, a personal witness. How do you move past the step of just inviting somebody to church, which of course is important, to seeing those people be invited directly to Jesus through you talking to them about the gospel and the reality of what needs to happen in their life. We talked a lot about three big things. They have to recognize there's a need, that the need is they're separated from God, and that the cause of that is sin. That the Lord is willing and able to save them from that sin caused separation. He's able to forgive our sins. He's able to move us from unholiness to holiness, right? He brings righteousness into our life, justification. We've talked a lot about those things. And then we have to be willing to ultimately act in faith some way. So you have to act in faith towards God some way. I put a big boost on that when I put it out on Facebook here last week because it seems like it's been pretty helpful. But the big question comes around, okay, how do I put it all together? It just becomes something that's natural. People that are good, and I'm going to use the term soul winner a lot, okay? He who winneth souls is wise. That's where that term comes from. But somebody that is just good at moving people into a conversation with Christ, and they're just good at helping those people come to a decision and where they exercise faith, or they're people to be treasured, and they're people to we learn from. And a lot of people think that people that are like that are the biggest part of it is that they're gifted in evangelism. Okay, and evangelism is a spiritual gift. Now, just because it may not be your predominant gift doesn't mean that you don't need to do it, right? Paul told Timothy, do the work of an evangelist. What did he say at the end of the verse? Fulfill your ministry. In other words, do it all. Do all the work. We're all called to be the light in the world, right? And so some of us this Holy Spirit is gifted very predominantly and strongly in that, and some of us, he just grows it in us. But the truth is, if I had probably the top 10, let's say, soul winners that I know of, that I think are honestly pretty good at it, and that you see a lot of fruit in their life, is probably more than half of them, or at least half of them, evangelism's not their predominant gift. Okay, one of the most effective soul winners I've ever met in my life is Pastor David Gilmer here at our church. Very few people walk into his office lost that don't come out either convicted, or most of them come out saved. But tell you the truth, I mean, I've never seen a spiritual gift inventory on him, or we've never had a detailed conversation about it. But knowing what I know of him, I'd say mercy showing is probably his predominant gift. But my Lord, I mean, it's just, I don't know how many people I've had walk through that door right there with him telling me, Brother Todd, I just got saved. And so it's just, some people are just good at it. They're good at just working it that way. Some people think, well, it's just boldness. Some people just have a boldness, and I don't really have a boldness. And sometimes that helps. People that are bold, are confident. They don't worry about what people think of them. My biggest problem, is and through my life has not been, well, I'm afraid what they're going to think about Jesus. It's, oh Lord, what are they going to think about me? It's a fun thing to admit out on the internet, but it's true. You got to be transparent. You don't help nobody when you act like you don't have no weaknesses that you've had to overcome and that you still battle with. And so what do you do? Well, I want you to think about this with me for just a second. I thought this morning, how can I get this across to people? But so let me give you a few illustrations, and then I'm gonna tell you what's behind them. Okay. So illustration number one. Back when I lifted in the gym and stuff a lot, I always did more strength type work. Okay. And I'm so lazy. I don't want to do nothing 20 times. So I would rather lift everything I can 2 times so that I don't have to pick up less weight 50 times. You following me? I just couldn't get the strain overall at one time. So I always built around, we always worked out around numbers. Okay, what's the number on a bar? How many plates is on that bar? What's the weight on that bar? And how many, can you pick it up? Can you move it? Okay, something like a powerlifting type workout, but I never did competitive powerlifting. I didn't have time for it. So, so you're working out, and there's people there with you, and you'll run into their family members. One boy one time got to working out with me, and I run into his brother, who I knew. I didn't really know the little brother much, but he come to me, asked me when to work out with me, and I said, yeah, sure, man. So, more the merrier. We always had a big group lifted together. So like I'd run into his brother. I go, well, I hear my little brother's working out with you. Oh yeah. He said, oh man, he won't shut up. He said he comes in all the time talking about, man, I got to pick this up, and I got that weight, and I was straining under that bench press, man, it was all I could do, and then I locked it out, man, he said, he's telling me all these stories, and he's like, Todd, I don't care about none of that stuff, but he said it seems so important to him. Catch that. It seems so important to him. He seems so proud of it, and it seems like, and that's what the boy told me, he said, it seems like it's all he thinks about now. Well, catch that. What's important to you, what you're proud of, and what you're thinking about is something that you can't be quiet about. He said, boy, I was ruining Thanksgiving dinner, telling my grandma over here about how he got his squat up by focusing on his front squat, and he's telling grandma about all these reps and stuff that he does. She just looking at him and go, baby, that's good. Baby, that's good. I'm proud of you, baby. And he just talking. In fact, I seen a t-shirt one time said, unless you went flying off the back of the treadmill, I don't want to hear about your workout. Right? Because, well, it's not in their world. Illustration number 2. One of my favorites. Somebody has their first grandbaby. Them first grandbabies, my Lord, you can't get by them grandmamas with them iPhones. Man, they come up. I'm about to walk up there and preach, right? I mean, I got the burden of God, my calling of God, and the weight of this eternal group of people that I'm about to go out and talk to, and they're headed towards eternity, and some of them I'll never get to talk to again, and invariably, I'll be walking down the hall trying to be about my duties, and some grandmama will grab me up and show me pictures of a sleeping baby, an infant, and making me watch a video. And it's like, here, brother, Ty, watch. Well, it's just it's a baby. And 3 minutes into the video, the baby picks his head up and turns it, and grandmama's, she's dancing around and so happy. And Brother Ty, you believe that? Well, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal. First time my first grandson picked his head up and picked it over. You act like, man, that's a big thing. Look how strong he is. I bet he's gonna be Hercules. What's happening? It's important. Thinking about it. You following me? Proud of it. Usually for the COVID thing, this time of year, I am being inundated with stories about little Junior or little sister is headed to the World Series or whatever. And I got parents taking me down every pitch and taking me down every swing. And you say, well, Brother Todd, you're making fun of people. No, because I've been there. And I enjoy it. Ain't nothing I like more than seeing them kids do good. Well, but what is it? It's important to me. I'm proud of it. Thinking about it. He said, Brother Todd, why you tell me them 3 little old crazy stories? Well, catch this. If you want Jesus to be, and a conversation about Jesus to be something you can get into easily and something that flows, let me ask you a question. Is Jesus important to you? Are you proud of Jesus? Are you thinking about him? You see what I'm saying? Some people easily move the conversation towards Jesus because he's who they're thinking about. He's who they're proud of. You catching it? He's important to them. Now, don't get me wrong. Another way to to move the conversation towards people is to have that same type of heart for what? For people, because they're second. That people are important to you, that people matter to you, that you're proud of people, that you follow me. But it's simpler, it's easier, and you have to make Christ first. You won't ever get tired of talking about Jesus when you're thinking about him, he's important to you, and you're proud of what he's done and who he is. And you speak well of the Lord. Isn't that funny? We don't think about that, do we? The Lord said he keeps a book of people that speaks well of him. Speaks well of him. Right? We got a deal in my family. I had an old granddad. I talk about him every now and then on this deal I call Papa. Papa taught us that our family is important to us. That you back the blood, so to speak. We use that term a lot even. They in the blood. And that we don't go around talking bad about our kinfolks. And if one of them does good, we lift them up. We tell them how proud we are of them, and we tell them how glad we are. And if they get a new job, we make sure they know that we're proud of them. And when they maybe have had a disappointment, they're trying to rise up, that, man, we know they can do it, right? Because why? Because we're proud of them. We love them. We want to see them do well. We don't talk ill of them. Well, so when you've got that same type thought about Jesus, then, and he's easy to talk good about, and you're thinking about him, then it naturally just comes out. It's like the guy that loves the working out. It's the grandma with the picture of the baby. It's the pee-wee football dad that's telling me time over time about how they won the Super Bowl up here in Kaufman. And, guys, I've seen 6-year-olds play football. It's just a big huddle that moves around out there on the field, and every now and then either the ball or a little kid with the ball pop out the end of it. Right? But they're hanging on every bit of it. Well, why? It's important, proud, and they're thinking about it. Well, when that's what you're doing with Jesus, it naturally just comes out. It comes out as naturally as that grandmama's iPhone. You follow me? You say, well, okay, Brother Todd, how do I get that going in my life? Well, one, if you want to be thinking about Jesus, get in the Word. Nothing will stir your heart towards God like daily just having a word from the Word in your head. Read a little bit of the Bible. It's so easy to read your Bible now, guys. We got no excuse. I got 3 different Bibles on this iPhone. I got 2 different Bible softwares on my computer. And if you see that messy desk over there, I guarantee you I go over there and pull 4 Bibles off of it if I want to. Okay? They don't do me no good unless I look at them. But you think about what you're putting into your head. What are you putting in your eye gate? What are you putting in your ear gate? A lot of y'all driving to work, man, get it on these messages. These minutes. Everywhere. Used to we had to get the Bible on cassette now, or CD. Now you just punch in your iPhone app and play it through the Bluetooth on your deal. I used to, I don't do it as much anymore because of my hearing. But for years, I had the Bible being read, running through my computer, through the speakers. And before that, I had a little CD player I put on my desk. And I would let the Bible just be running. While I'm doing the other stuff that I'm doing, it kept my mind focused. Now, if I have any background noise at all, I can't hear anybody, so it's hard for me to do it. But it's still it's a wonderful way to get it in your thoughts. Okay, get it in your thoughts. Being proud of Jesus is recognizing what Christ has done for you, and recognizing what he's doing in the world. Let me give you a couple of chapters to go read. Revelation 4 and Revelation 5. In Revelation 4 and Revelation 5, they're future. They're coming. Those times are coming. And we see the saints in heaven. And in chapter 4, you see them worshiping God over creation. And in chapter 5, you see them worshiping the Lord over redemption. Creation and redemption. Go out and read them, and then look for places where you see God's giving you an opportunity and creating you and a blessing and redeeming you. And it'll move you towards the Lord. So read about the cross. Read the old prophets. Go read Isaiah 53. And it'll stir you. It'll stir you towards God. Okay? It'll make you proud of him. It'll help you think of him. And you say, Brother Todd, I just have trouble doing that. Well, I'm going to get straight with you. If the Lord ain't important to you, you ain't going to do none of it. All you're going to do is just feel guilty till you die. I should have told more people about Jesus. I should have read my Bible more. I should have thought about the Lord more. Brother and sister, if he ain't important to you, old preacher sitting here talking in a little gray shirt can't make him important to you. Usually if Jesus isn't important to the Christian, it's because we got something that doesn't matter in the way. It's usually because we have lost sight that he is not something to be worked in, but that all of life should flow from our relationship with him. I hear parents tell me all the time, just can't get the kids in church. We're just so busy, we prioritize our family, blah, 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 blah. It's a big pack of lies and nonsense. It's just an excuse. Jesus said, if you don't love me more than your family, you're not worthy of me. Go read it. You say, Brother Todd, that just don't make sense. Oh, brother, it makes all the sense in the world. You want to really love your family? Love God first. It'll burden you towards your family like you ain't never seen. Love God first. He knew what he was talking about when he said, put me above everything. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That means your family. That means your football. That means your fishing. That means your recreation. Don't be one of these people that works at their plays at their worship, and worships their work. Don't be one of them people. Well, I got all heavy here on you, and I'm trying not to do that, So, I hope it helps. Remember, what's important to you, what you're thinking about, what you're proud of, be what you're talking about. Have a good day. Bye-bye.